Dr. Deming introduced the PDSA cycle, and plan, do, study, act, right? And he introduced it in the mid-'80s in his seminars. By then, there was already a PDCA that came out of Japan and the QC circles. And it was popular. And for some reason, everybody thought they were the same. So one of my ambitions was to make sure that people understood what Deming was saying was very different. So first of all, the plan, do, study is the scientific method. It's a methodology that lives in theory of knowledge, one of his parts of profound knowledge. The PDCA is not that. It's plan, do, check, act. It's for checking to see if someone's done something, implement. And that's what QC circles in Japan did. Then some places they start using it in place of the PDSA, thinking they're the same. But you don't check. In fact, Deming would say, check means to hold back. It's not even related to what he called the plan, do, study, act. All right, so the beginning of the plan, do, study, act starts with P, plan. But P really stands for more than plan. Since it lives in theory of knowledge, you need to make a prediction. So planning requires prediction, prediction requires a theory. This was fundamental to Deming's step one. Planning requires prediction, prediction requires a theory. So in your planning phase, you write what you think will happen if you're going to test something, and you write it down, and you also back it by the theory that will make you prediction. Right, so that's important because once you carry out your experiment, the second step, do, then you go back to the study part to see whether or not your prediction came true. If it did come true, your theory was correct. If it didn't come through, because of theory of knowledge, you have to revise your theory. You predicted something and it didn't happen. Something as simple as dropping a pencil on the floor. I predict that it will fall to the ground. What's my theory? Gravity. Now, if I take my pencil and it goes out the door, I'm going to have to revise my theory about gravity in this room. Something's different. So that was fundamental in the theory of knowledge. No number of examples prove the theory, but a single counterexample, you have to modify your theory. So that's an integral part of the PDSA. So when you get to the actual study part, what did we learn? And now what action do we take? And this is Deming's pragmatic view. Things have to work. So it's more than the scientific method. There you just write up what you learned. But Deming added the fourth step, act. So act just means to act on what you've learned. And it could be that you have to do another cycle and another cycle. And generally there are multiple PDSA cycles because it's really learning. It lives in the theory of knowledge.